Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and for those of you who are looking for a little bit of damage in your Bangboo and some sort of utility, look no further than Red Moccus. This is the new Bangboo that's coming out in version 1.3, together with Caesar as well as Bernice in the Sons of Cauldron faction. Looks really nice design. It's like wearing a leather jacket, it's like a pig, so super cute as well. Let's talk about it. We're also going to be comparing the peers, what are my thoughts on this Bangboo as well, and if you should pull at all. That's the main point of this video. So first things first, what exactly is the thing that procs the additional ability for this? How do you proc the effect? And some of you are kind of intuitive, you kind of guessed it. You need two Sons of Cauldron characters, similar to a lot of the other faction Bangboos like A Million, you have Officer Cui and stuff like that. This is primarily a faction-based Bangboo. So what the effect does when you proc the additional ability, it increases your skill damage by a massive 72% at 5 copies. After additional skill deals damage to an enemy and the enemy is defeated, your skill cooldown is reduced by 8 seconds. It has a 30% 30-second cooldown on the skill, which we will touch on in a bit. But pretty nice additional ability, just a bit more additional damage. So you can choose if you wanted to, you want to just use for the utility thing that we're going to talk about in the A section, you can run it outside of a two Sons of Cauldron team as well, because this is just a little bit of damage, right? And Bangboos, you don't really rely on that massive 72% damage increase. It is a lot, but you don't probably rely on this as much as the utilities that you might get from them too. Next up, of course, is a physical damage dealer in a chain attack, dealing 1054%. So 1054 and 151 days multiplier. At this point, I think it's nice if we compare to the other peers around. So primarily a physical damage dealing Bangboo. So I just brought up the other physical damage dealer S ranks so they can do a peer-to-peer comparison between them. Out of all of them, let's talk about these multipliers first, and then we're going stats and the A, which is the utility part in a little bit. But days multiplier 1054, 151 days damage respectively. It underperforms A Million. A Million does more damage, 100% more damage multiplier, and 13% more days multiplier as well, or 17%. Also underperforms Officer Cui. Officer Cui and A Million are way better if you're looking for damage and days from your Bangboo in terms of the chain attack portion. Here is 1167, which is also about 100% more. Days multiplier is 15% more or something like that. So underperforms that too. The last one, which is also a physical damage dealer, this is Bangvolver, is 1086, which is roughly the same, 30% difference. Days multiplier is very close, but still underperforms both of them for Bangvolver. So this new Bangboo, the Red Moccus, is, in terms of the mat chart here, in the last part here, the multipliers are way weaker than the other 4 physical damage dealers. But one thing to note, of course, it might outperform your Bangvolver here because Bangvolver has the lowest base attack out of the 4 of them, 359. Red Moccus has 396, which is the same as Officer Cui as well as A Million. They're based on what you're seeing so far in the creator experience server as well. So quite nice, good amounts of damage that it offers, a little bit weaker than the rest, but still quite significantly stronger than an A rank based on stats. The last part that I want to talk about here is the Roaring Wheels before we get into the thoughts of who would benefit most from this particular unit. Roaring Wheels is really what's really making this Bangboo viable and probably very more attractive than a Bangboo like Officer Cui. You get a bit of damage, but this rides a motorcycle and pushing the furthest enemy unit until they are near the agent is tons of value. You get a lot of utility because you know that when you are in a fight, you always have this one range enemy shooting a bullet at you, and they are always at a corner of the world, kind of shooting at you. To walk over there, you probably take 2-3 seconds. This Bangboo could save you 2 to 3 seconds on your run just by every 30 seconds he activates the ability, pull them in, so you get that quick grouping to help you clear the floor faster. And if you manage to kill the target, because if it's a squishy, you have your Bangboo really well built already, you probably might one-shot the guy if you have a decent amount of multiplier here, because it's 1.3k to get that 72%, quite a massive amount of damage increase as well for this unit over here. One thing to note is the active skill does a lot of damage, 1344%, which is also increased further. But let's just look at the base value in case any of you who want to play it outside of Sons of Cauldron teams. 1344% damage multiplier. A Million here, for example, is way less than that, and has 0 days multiplier, so it doesn't offer too much utility. At least here you get some days multiplier. Cooldown is a lot longer, of course. Officer Cui also 600 plus. If you get the combos he's chaining right, then you might get it better. Cooldown is also better, but you can see that this Red Moccus does a lot of damage in the skill ability. The only one loses out to is probably this Bangboo here, who has a massive 1,600 points of damage multiplier from the enhanced shot. If you do the enhanced shot, if you don't do the enhanced shot, it's like way less, it's like half, but your cooldown is also approximately like half of Red Moccus. Okay, so let's talk also about the A ranks. I think it'll be interesting, especially if some of you who have some of these A rankers and you're looking to upgrade to an S rank. I got 3 of them that are, I guess, representative of the different states that you might be using these Bangboos in. One for anomaly, one for a bit more damage, and one for crowd control, which the Red Moccus does decently well in most of these categories. So let's take a look. We have the first one here, Lucky Boo, which is the anomaly-based focus Bangboo for the A ranks. Damage multipliers here, whoever's testing my multiplication here, they couldn't just give me straight away. So 6.1 times 140 is roughly around 850, I think. Thereabouts, about 840% for damage multiplier, which is a lot less for the scale compared to Red Moccus 1.3k damage multiplier. Base multiplier 3.5% times 140 is approximately like 500, I think, 500% base multiplier, which is, I think, less. Is it less? Yeah, it's about the same. It's very close to the base multiplier for Red Moccus in terms of the Lucky Boo. Cooldown here a lot shorter, 22 seconds. Red Moccus is 30 seconds unless you manage to get the additional ability proc where you manage to kill a squishy and then you have it drop to 22, but that is like less reliable. For additional ability for the Bangboo, for Lucky Boo, you just need 2 more physical attribute characters in your squad. This might not really be the case generally for Caesar teams unless you play like Caesar, Billy or something like that, because most of the time people are likely going to be running like Lucy together with Caesar, unless you run like Piper Caesar. Then you can get this double bonus here. But if you don't run Caesar and all, then you need to like find 2 physical characters. So this is not really super good for Sons of Keldron teams in general, I think. Next up, of course, you have Bangboo, which gives you damage multiplier of like 500, 294, a very quick attack of like 18 seconds. Not that great. Very weak multipliers, right? 1,300 we see in the pig Bangboo here, Red Moccus, and these multipliers are about 60% of Red Moccus as well. You have at least one other character in your squad. At least one character, you have your damage increase. This is pretty universal, pretty generic. So Bangboo actually has a very nice additional ability for any of you who are thinking of. Out here, a lot less. 105 something was the Bangboo over here, Red Moccus. But notice that the stats are way lesser. 293 versus like 396. Of course, the damage multipliers is like lesser, but you get a higher base. Days multiplier 156 versus a days multiplier 151, so it's roughly the same here in this category. So Bangboo offers decent damage, but offers no utility. Red Moccus, of course, offers you some pull-in from the back. Magnetic Boo is very similar to Red Moccus, has that similar kind of utility effect in the A1, which we will talk about or cover, and multipliers are way less, like half the damage multiplier. Days multiplier is also, it's about the same. Days multiplier is like 100 less. 100 less days multiplier, cooldown 24%, Red Moccus is like 30%, and this is proc when you have one anomaly character in the team. If you're running Bernice, this is fine. So Bernice will likely be okay together with the Magnetic Boo in terms of proccing this. But if you're running like Sons of Keldron with Caesar and Lucy or something like that, then you will want anomaly in the main slot, which is like Jane, which is a bit restrictive in our team compositions. But yeah, it is a significant upgrade for A ranks for sure, and you can choose which S rank that you want, as we talked about too. So what are my thoughts on Red Moccus and who can use them? I'm going to talk about it in this section. We unfortunately don't have enough in the test server to like actually test it all the way up to like 60 out of 60, and the stats change anyway right now. So it's very useful to just look at the base description and kit. I think that this is going to be a pretty good in-between if you are looking for like an Officer Cui meets like, which one's the black hole one again? One of the one that like CCs the enemy with the magnetism and stuff like that. So it's a good in-between. You get a little bit of both, a bit of damage as well as a bit of like pulling. And this is a Sons of Keldron character. For any of you who are playing Caesar and Lucy, which are like basically universal supports, you slap in red Moccus and you will pretty much have a super flexible team that offers you a bit of utility, a bit of shielding, a bit of support. So interesting character to have around. Unfortunately, it doesn't probably help too much for anomaly-based teams. If you're going for Burnies, you likely will much rather like going for other ones like the fire one, which is Rocket Boo, who, like if you are caring a lot about fire anomaly, and your other units which give you a lot of different anomaly effects depending on your squad and what you're going with. And that is my honest thoughts on red Moccus. Would I be pulling on this? I probably wouldn't be on my main. I also haven't saved enough tickets, excuse me, and I think it's great utility. I would have picked it up, but unfortunately I got Officer 3 for the damage, so I have to miss out this one on my account. But hopefully you guys don't miss this one out as well, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you next video.